Hello and welcome. I am Jamie Bates, and today I wanted to talk to you about why you want to be a receiver. So I just had an interesting conversation with someone. I'm doing a podcast interview soon, and she was asking me about what it is I do and why that benefits people. And today I wanted to talk to you about that. I have this new program coming up. That is a whole year-long experiment, I'll say a project, about really stepping into the receiver that you be. And so today I wanted to take a moment and talk to you about what I do essentially is what I'm going to be doing in this receive project. Okay, so it's really teaching you how to be a receiver. And so what does that mean? So have you ever heard the story about when Christopher Columbus came to America? And they say that the Pilgrims and the Indians, they actually didn't even see the ships coming at the land. And they say the shamans, were telling the people that these big things were floating in the water and they were coming at the land, and nobody could see. Only people that could see the ships were the shamans. And as like the ships landed and people started getting out of the ships, and the Indians and the Pilgrims started seeing people around the land, they didn't know how the people actually even got there, because the ships themselves were so far beyond what someone could receive. It was so far beyond what someone could see, because they had never seen a ship, so they didn't realize a ship even existed. And that's basically kind of what I'm talking about within the Receive Project, if that makes sense. So essentially, it's looking at these places in our life where we have these viewpoints stacked up, okay? And these viewpoints, let's say if you exist in a viewpoint where you feel like life is hard, okay? So if you feel like life is hard, any instances where life could be easy, like where a situation could be easy, or life could be easier, you generally aren't going to be able to see that possibility, because you are standing in the viewpoint of life being hard. And as soon as you decide life is hard, the universe gives you situations that validate your reasoning or your ideas of life being hard. So when you switch your life from where you're at right now to really learning how to be a receiver, what you actually do is you open up your life to a different possibility. Okay, we start by really looking at the viewpoints in which you're functioning at. Okay, and we do this in a way where it's not like it's a lot of mental stuff. Okay, it's more energetic stuff, and we look at like what is in the way, what is stopping me, and we start clearing out these energetic viewpoints. Okay, these places where you've solidified within an energy of when I was talking to the lady today that I'm doing a podcast with, I said, if you believe life is hard, then what happens is you start to align with rigidity. And then the rigidity eventually gets into your muscles, into your body, and it actually starts creating your life from that rigidity, because that's what you believe. Life is hard. And so the universe gives you what you ask for, because we live in an ask and receive universe. So throughout this Receive project, what I'm going to really do is I'm going to teach you how to stand in different energies, how to receive different energies into your body. Because when you start receiving different energies in your body, you actually start to actualize things differently. Your body starts showing up differently. Your life starts showing up differently. And all of a sudden, you start to see things you've never seen before. Maybe you drive the same way to work every single day, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, when did they build that building? I've never even seen that building before. Have you ever had that happen? Have you ever had that happen where you're in maybe a familiar situation and you're starting to see something that you've never seen before? Or have you met someone and found out that you've been at 30 things before together, but for whatever reason you never actually seen that person? And that was because something was in your way of actually making that connection. And so during this Receive project, essentially what we do is we start looking at, well, first and foremost, we start looking at, like, we do a different thing every month. So month number one is I've decided we're going to start, we're going to be receiving from you. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to look at these viewpoints where maybe you have decided that you are bad, or you should have shame, or you should feel guilty about this or that, or blah, 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 right? You have all these viewpoints about who you are. We have lots of viewpoints about who we are, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to play with the energy in a way we're actually going to change those viewpoints about how we feel about who we are, okay? And when you start changing the viewpoints about who you are and about who you think you are, I should say, when you start changing those viewpoints, then all of a sudden you start actually standing in different energies. So maybe if you go from, I'm a bad person and I'm wrong because of this and I'm wrong because of that, we're going to do some techniques where we're actually going to release that energy for good. We're actually going to release that from you. So when you think about a situation, many of us have situations that we play over and over and over in our head, right? Of I'm wrong because, and then we go, dot, 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 and we play these same situations. Well, what we're actually going to do is we're going to kind of go back in time, and we're actually going to change the energy around that experience. Okay, so then when you think of that experience, you're not validating the wrongness of you, whether it's I'm bad because, or I'm a bad mom because, or I'm a bad sister because, I'm a bad wife because, or whatever it is that you're telling yourself, right? We're going to change those viewpoints. And when you change those viewpoints, you get to actually show up differently, because no longer are you relating yourself to who you think you are. You're changing the energy in a way where you go, okay, you know what? I am a beautiful person. I am a very kind person. I am very genuine. And then all of a sudden you start standing in those energies, okay? And then we're going to start receiving these new energies that you actually want to be, okay? So maybe you want to go from feeling like you're a bad mom to feeling like you're an amazing mom. Okay, and we're going to start implanting those energies in a way where then you're going to have situations come up where you're going to be able to validate those energies. I am an amazing mom. And then all of a sudden, the relationship with your children changes, because your children are no longer validating the reality that you're standing in. Because if you're standing in, I'm a bad mom, then your kids are going to be aware of that energy. Okay, and then every time you get into an argument or something happens, they're going to validate this idea that you're a bad mom. So when you change the way you feel about that, and you actually start standing in, I'm an amazing mom, and you start receiving these different energies, right? And you start standing in this energy differently, what actually starts to happen is those around you start to validate that new reality. And then all of a sudden, right before your eyes, you have received something different, and your life starts to change, and your body starts to change, because you go from this place where maybe you had all of these aches and pains and upsets going on in your life, and all of a sudden you have space, and you have ease, and you have possibility. Okay, and so every single month, we are going to take a different aspect. We're going to go over our family members. We're going to change the dynamics with your family members. Maybe you have upset with someone in your family. Maybe you have upset with your children. Maybe you have upset with your husband. Maybe you have, or your partner, whoever it is, right? And again, like when we start changing you, those relationships do start to change. But as we're going through the whole year, we're gonna impart a different receiving exercise, a different thing, a different energy that we're going to be receiving into our body, and we're going to start playing with different energies, and we're really, really going to focus on creating the ease and the space of you, of who you truly be, not who you decided you were, not the emotions you've identified with, not the, oh, I'm a sad and depressed person. Sad and depressed does not describe you. Sad and depressed is energies that you are stuck in. Okay? And when you learn how to shift those energies, and when you learn how to receive a different energy, because it is a learning process. You know, you can't just go from I'm sad and depressed to tomorrow I'm you know, excruciatingly happy. I mean, I guess I don't want to say you can't, but you know, we all know if you've struggled your whole life with sadness and depression, you know that it's not just something that you can just turn on and off. And so essentially, I'm going to teach you how to receive these new energies, how to receive happiness, how to receive praise, how to receive attention, how to receive the things that you have always maybe desired you wanted, or maybe at this point in your life, you're so used to being sad and depressed or upset or whatever it is that you're dealing with that you don't even know that a different life is even possible. And I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you how easy you can live in a different life, how easy you can have a different possibility around you, your body, your life, your living, all of it, the relationships that you have, all of it. I'm going to show you how to change all of it. And it is going to be, I'll say, an intense experience. But the thing is we're only going to have one call a month. Okay, there's going to be one live call, and then throughout the month, I'm going to give you some different little exercises to implement. I'm going to give you some things to ask and receive. There's going to be a Facebook group that you can join us in, where you can interact with me. You can interact with my apprentices who are training underneath me, where they can assist you, where you can ask questions. You can say, hey, I'm having a difficulty with this, and we will help you. And we have a whole year to grow, a whole year to learn, a whole year to really make an impact on who we are believing that we are, and stepping into who we really truly want to be. So it's going to be super duper exciting, and I would love if you would join me. And because I'm looking to really make this a very, very large project, a very, very large class, I'm offering this at a very, very, very small price. So you can join me for as little as $25 a month, or $199 for the whole year of experiments and askings and receivings, and really shifting the space that you're in right now into something different. So I would love it if you would join me. You can click the link below, or you can visit my website at www.jamie-bates.com. Thank you so much for listening to me today, and I look forward to meeting you and interacting with you and teaching you how to become the receiver that you truly be. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.